Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. I am the author of She's Crazy, and today we're going to talk about this book. For those of you all who have already purchased it, thank you. And for those of you all who have yet to purchase it, I suggest you do. If you are a man who has gone through much with your lady friend or girlfriend or wife, okay? She's crazy. There are so many people that are quick to label someone, right? You might have been labeled yourself. And how did you feel? How did you feel when someone called you a name or two? Well, I'm sure you did not feel good. I'm sure that you wanted to come up with a few words to tell them about their ugly selves. And for some of you all, not only did you tell them what they were, but you also threatened them, and you may have went so far as to put your hands on those people, okay? Some people are going to get you so angry to the point where, yes, you do think things that you shouldn't. You do contemplate on doing some things, but the key is not to, of course, do anything that's going to cause you to feel guilty, to cause you to end up in jail, or worse, 6 feet deep. You've already established that you have a problem with your current partner, lover, mistress, friend, whatever you call this woman. You already know that there are some things about her that are a little bit off. She may have even told you that she went through much, that she had been in abusive relationships, that her father was difficult to live with. He may have done a thing or two to her. And so you've got a woman that's got a lot going on in her mind, in her body, and in her spirit. And when you connect with her in a sexual way, you are also connecting with all of her hurt, her pain, her good days, and everything else that goes on with her. Okay? If you are a believer, you know that the Lord wants you to be equally yoked. Okay? He wants you to be with someone who is a believer like you. Okay? Someone who trusts in the Lord, who feels accountable to God, especially when they have done something wrong to you or others. He wants you to have a spiritual connection to that individual. He doesn't want you to be with the person who is an unbeliever, a person who's a backslider, who doesn't respect him or love him. He doesn't want you to be caught up with all of the drama of unbelief. Okay? But so many men will compromise their faith just to be with that woman who's so fine, who's a head turner, a game changer, that woman who ends up being nothing more than a problem that might last for months or for years, a problem that might produce your babies one day, a problem that might end up causing you to have to do something that you thought you would never do. Okay? Whether good, bad, or otherwise. Because there is always some good in a crazy relationship. We can't say that, oh, everything about that person is awful, because if everything was awful about them, we would have never been attracted to that individual. Okay? So that exaggeration that so many men will come up with because they are no longer enamored and in love with an individual, that's all it is. It's nothing more than an exaggeration. There was something about her that made you want to be with her. There is something about her that makes you continue to be with her. And there's something about her that you will defend her even when she is wrong. And you will go so far as to tell others off if they so much as check you about your woman, your mistress, your girlfriend, lover, or friend. Okay? Yes, I am making this a spiritual message, and I'm not just reading out of my book, She's Crazy, because when we get ourselves connected to anyone, we are connected with them in so many different ways, as I've said earlier, and those ways can either make you or break you. And there's a lot of broken men. We talk about broken women. I mean, you've heard about emotionally, physically, sexually abused women. And I'm sure that the person that you're with, she has shared a lot about her past. But there are men who are broken, and you may be one of them, who just can't seem to get it right personally, sometimes professionally. And so when I can't make sense of who I am and where I want to be in this life, I just might shift some blame instead of blaming myself or blaming people who really did make a significant impact on me in a not so positive way. There's the crazy woman I can blame. Okay. So some women in these relationships are being blamed for things that really the man should just go way, way, way back in his history, and he will find out why he attracts who he attracts, why he sticks it out with damsel in distresses, why he does the most unlikeliest things, why his boys call him any number of names for doing and saying what he says. Okay? She's crazy. Let us get into the book. On page 66, I warned readers in the past about this sort of behavior in an article entitled How to Know Your Girlfriend or Boyfriend is Crazy. So I will share similar points again here and add details. Okay? And this, I will tell you, was one of my most popular articles before the website that published it went under. I never seen so many men that were bent out of shape with their women. I mean, it was so many comments. There was maybe a handful of comments by women, but there was a whole lot of men commenting on their girlfriends being crazy. Okay. So what is this business of crazy? And are you really properly defining your girlfriend or your wife? Okay. So these are the things you need to pay attention to. Number one, your partner belittles you in front of others or at home and isn't remorseful about his or her behavior. Okay. So they may have said something that was off the wall. Okay. The woman may have just said something that cuts you to the core, and she looks at you cold, and she doesn't drop a tear. She doesn't come back and say she apologizes, or she wants to talk over some things in a logical, calm voice. Nah, this woman is cold-blooded. Okay? And she doesn't mind telling everybody about your personal flaws, your secrets. She doesn't mind telling everybody right in front of you, drawing a crowd. Okay? Number two, this person is scary, and you are often worried about how she might react. Okay? Oh, I wonder what she might do. I wonder what she's going to say. Oh my goodness. Let me fix this real quick. Let me distract her. Maybe she won't think about it. Okay. There's something about her that's scary. It's creepy. It reminds you of a horror flick or a stalking movie or some type of obsession that a person has. You're just creeped out. Okay. She's pretty. She might even help you with a few things, but you're creeped out when she comes around. That's a sign you're dealing with somebody who's crazy. Number three, she has threatened you with your own weapon or has obtained one and warned that she would not hesitate to use it. Okay? That says it all in a nutshell. Interesting choice of words, a nutshell. Point four, you know your partner enjoys violent media. Sometimes she jokes about hurting you. Okay? So she's got to get the latest DVD and it's a violent movie. Then she's going to the movie theater and she only watches violent flicks. And then, You know, she's sitting up there with you watching some of the most horrific stuff and she's actually laughing about it, right? Some girls will cover their eyes. They will cry. They would say, I can't watch this. Turn it off. Change the channel. Not this one. She's sitting up here and she looking at heads being exploded. She's looking at folks being cut from one end to the next. That's a dangerous chick. Okay. Point 5, whenever she is having a dispute with someone, she talks about resolving things physically rather than logically. She may talk of hurting someone with her fists, sabotaging their belongings or reputation. Okay. This isn't one of those females that's going to sit there and have the talk about too much of anything. If you rub her the wrong way and she discovers something very, very insulting, disrespectful, ugly that you did, you have every right to want to take cover and break up with her over the phone, through text, send an email or smoke signal. Because a woman like this, if you care about your freedom, there's just some things you don't discuss with her. Okay. Unless, of course, like I said, you're in a safe place. That's different. Point 6, she pressures you about sex and thinks of you as nothing more than an object that makes her feel good sometimes. She refers to other men in a similar way. Her sexual fantasies are strange and she wants you to participate in acts that are shameful or painful. Okay? Scary woman. She's into some kinky, weird, bizarre, painful kind of stuff. She's shaming you. She's doing some things that you can't even tell your boy about. Okay? And she has a way of being quite seductive around those other men. And she doesn't mind talking sexy and acting sexy and dressing sexy. And even though you have repeatedly told her that she needed to tone some things down, she ignores you. Yeah, she's crazy. Point 7, she blames you every time she explodes. So she may do some hurtful things, then tell you that if you hadn't said or did XYZ, she wouldn't have hurt you or someone else. So she might take her anger out on you, or she may take it out on the kids, or she may go and take it out on her best friend. She may go around her relatives and cause you know what, or she may get a little bit out of pocket with her in-laws. Okay. And it all goes back to you. You see, I wouldn't have had to say those things if you hadn't done XYZ. I wouldn't have had to go off on so-and-so, but see, you made me. Okay. Point 8, she doesn't hold herself accountable for anything that went wrong with past partners, family, former friends, work issues, you name it. I'm not apologizing for nothing. Nope. I'm not interested in, trying to make amends with anybody. I'm just for the fight. That's it. Okay. Point 9, she acts like women should rule over women. She enjoys media that emasculates men. She says mean things about men to make herself feel good. This is a ruler. She's going to rule women, but I should have added she's going to rule men too. Okay. This is one of those women that she is disrespectful, real evil, talking crazy about men. She's recruiting other women to think like she does. Okay. She's the one that is going to spearhead every program that says something about down with the man. Okay. And then if some of the women, if they show weakness toward men, or let's just be loving and kind and let us all get along with one another. She's not about the unity in the community. So she's going to try to rule over those women in a minute. Okay. Look, you follow my lead. This isn't about getting along with men. And she may call them a name or two, because she is not that one for supporting all things when it comes to peace among men and women. No, women, we're the strong ones. We're the ones that have the upper hand. And when you hear a woman talking like that, she's got her personal opinion about you too, even though she hasn't said it. She probably thinks you're weak. Point 10, she possibly talked negatively about her parents, especially her father, brothers, and other male relatives, and how they mistreated women while threatening you. So she's got those issues from when she saw her mother or her grandmother or other female relatives being used and abused, or friends. And so she has a lot of anger, a lot of negativity concerning males. So you got to watch your back, because it's not always about those other men. A lot of times her anger is all men. Okay. All men, including you. Let's see, point 11. She had physically abused you and you gave her the pass because she was drunk, menstrual, mad about work, upset about children, worried about a relative, frustrated about money. Okay. These were all her issues, and she was upset, and you pretty much said, it's okay, it's all right, it's okay, it's all right, it's okay. And you just kept doing that for everything. Let's see, point 12. She could have talked about killing herself or you if you should ever act like you want to leave her. Now, this is disturbing, but when a woman starts yelling and screaming and crying and acting emotional about, don't leave me, I'll kill myself, and she's just going off the deep end like that, that's mental issues going on with her. You better run. Okay, you better run, because she's going to try to guilt you. I would have never stabbed myself in the stomach, or I would have never cut myself if you would have just showed me that you loved me and that you appreciated me, but you never did. Okay, scary, but so true. 13, your family has expressed concern about your safety. I mean, you talk to your friends, your family about these things, and they're saying things like, man, if I were you, I'd start packing up. You got yourself a real one right there. Okay. I mean, you need to take heed to what your family is saying. Everybody doesn't act like you're a crazy woman. Okay. 14, whenever she knows she has wronged you in some way, she does things to make up with you. I mean, she's over the top with this type of stuff. From buying something nice for you to cooking meals. I mean, she's doing some things that she doesn't typically do. And sometimes people, they won't see that also has, those types of things also have some personality disorders wrapped up with them too. You know that she doesn't typically cook, and, well, I'm just trying to make every effort to just really work on this relationship. Oh, and here's this and here's that. And she's just smothering you with all of this nice, kind stuff. Well, sooner or later, she's going to explode. So you might as well get ready for it. That's why you can't trust too many niceties. You just can't with a crazy woman. And this last point I'm going to make is you worry about her doing something to your food. Now that is pitiful. That a man has to worry about a woman poisoning him or making him ill or killing him. Why would you stick it out with somebody that you don't even trust her food? It's like you give some of the food to the dog first. Okay, the dog didn't croak. I think I'll come back and I'll eat. Okay. So she's crazy. If your woman fit any of those points, we're talking about more than one or two, okay? Because everybody has their days. But I'm talking about over the top kind of things, and you see a lot of her in what I said. Those were 15 points. You need to definitely be in prayer, ask the Lord for an exit plan, okay? If you don't know what an exit plan is or creating a safety plan, please do get in touch with the domestic violence counselors, okay, in your local area. They are well aware that men do find themselves in abusive relationships. So you want to exit this relationship safely. You don't want to do anything cold turkey, and then one day she sees you with a new woman, and now the new woman is dealing with her and then she's going off and just really losing it with you too. Okay. So many men do that, and that's the stupidest move. I'm just going to ignore her and go out with somebody else. And now that person who is innocent ends up being abused or possibly murdered because a man did not take care of his previous issues, his crazy exes. And a lot of times there are, unfortunately, men who drive women mad, and they won't say. You may have some friends that have driven their women mad. They're not going to tell you about those times where they repeatedly cheated. And that's why that woman started losing it. Or those times where they were drinking a lot and lots of drug use and so forth. Some men are not going to share that. All they're going to say is that the woman's crazy. Well, what did you do to cause her to go crazy? I didn't do nothing. That's a lie. Something was triggered. Now, in your case, it may not be anything. You just might be just a decent dude, a decent guy, right? You're doing what's right. You're trying to take care of responsibilities and so forth. Well, some people just got their own personal issues, and it has nothing to do with the person who they're connected with. But there are some things that no matter who we are, no matter who we get involved with, we are always going to have some kind of problem because we got our own stuff that we bring into relationships that we don't take care of. We can't blame others for that. Okay. So if she had a mental condition, some type of personality disorder before you came along, why are you trying to take responsibility for that? If she already had a long history of dealing with violence, why are you her punching bag? Okay. So, like I said, some things we can't save people. We cannot put ourselves in positions to be the entertainer, to be the go-to person, the counselor, the doctor, the teacher, the mother. We can't. That's why everybody has a role in this world. And when you know that you have reached that limit, that's when you direct her to the therapist, direct her to the counselor, direct her to anyone and everyone. But you got to draw the line in the sand and establish your boundaries and let her know, you can't deal with me any longer, honey. And I'm not going to help you out any longer because there's just too much involved with you that I just cannot solve. And then you go to Jesus. And that's as simple as that. Okay. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Please do get She's Crazy by NichollMcGuire. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. And also, we do accept donations. And if you want to just reach out and share your story, by all means. Well, to God be the glory. I give him the glory and the honor for writing this book because I felt so moved to write it because there were so many men that I kept hearing these stories about these women doing some weird, outright crazy types of stuff. And these men were actually still hanging in there with their disturbed partners. So get the book. Thank you so much for listening.